What's going on, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? My name is Sarlin.
My name is Waffles.
We're about to do the review for RWBY Volume 4, Episode 4. Now, we're going to go ahead and get into talking about the start of this with the boy. We saw him like an episode or two ago.
Yeah.
And he starts looking at like this mirror. We're trying to figure out exactly what he was doing, and he was saying, hello, is anyone there? And then we hear Osbin talk, which was really weird.
Yeah, because you couldn't see anybody in the mirror. It's like he could see something, but we couldn't see anything.
Right. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to lead up to, but I did think Osbin was still alive.
Yeah.
So this might confirm that. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. And well, with the mirror, I think the thing that caught most of my attention was I don't know how many other of you caught it, but he had a nose if you looked on the side, but when they panned into the mirror, he didn't really have a nose. It disappears.
I wasn't really paying attention to that, so I must have missed it.
Yeah,
I'll have to go back.
That's his nose. You see the profile of his nose on the side, and then when they look in on the mirror, it's just gone.
Okay, when I get into the edit, I'll take a look at that again. It's interesting. All right, and that leads us into the nightmare with Yang.
Oh, yeah.
And this kind of goes back with their PTSD again.
Yeah. Yeah, the nightmare was, you could definitely tell as soon as it starts that it was a nightmare, and she just doesn't really know what's going on. You know, she's looking down at her hands like, wait, I have them both?
Yeah.
And then she attacks, and then one's just gone.
Yeah, and then she wakes up.
Yep. Yeah, so we go from her having a nightmare to being in the kitchen, hanging out with a bunch of guys, cracking jokes.
Yeah.
And then Yang's father cracks a horrible joke, in my opinion. They all laughed. I was expecting her to like legit cry or something.
You know, I wasn't expecting that kind of joke from like RWBY as a whole.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting.
Yeah, it definitely was the shock factor in this episode.
All right, then this leads us into Crow following RWBY and the gang. And this kind of goes back like with a throwback involving Blake too, because Sun was following Blake.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I'm wondering with the other teams how this is playing out with them as well.
If someone's following each of them,
is each person or each grouping, are they being followed still?
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they show Crow in the inn in this town that RWBY and them were going to, and Raven appears.
Yeah.
Orders him a drink, and the waitress comes over. Yeah, the lady with the red eyes upstairs said you wouldn't mind bottom of the shelf. And it turns out, she had a little flirting with him and got him top shelf.
Right.
But it was interesting.
Yeah, their interactions. Of course, we already knew that Crow and Raven were kind of having a bit of a tantrum with each other, but we got to see a little bit more closely why Raven was having issues with Crow. It's because Crow kind of backed away from the family. So
yeah,
we don't know the specifics behind that yet, but hopefully we'll get to see more of that.
Yeah, and in that conversation, does she have the relic?
Yeah, the relic. At first, I thought she was talking about RWBY in her eyes, but she was actually talking about Salem and the relic, whatever the relic is.
Yeah. And
they need the Spring Maiden along with that, based off what Crow was saying. Otherwise, they're all doomed. So, a lot of questions.
Yeah, as to what is the relic? What do they mean to by the Spring Maiden? What significance is it going to play?
What does it do? How powerful is it really? I don't know.
And then we cut to the scene of what we've both been waiting for.
Oh, yes.
Yang's arm.
Yeah.
Finally being attached.
Yeah, she finally gets it equipped, and we started, the first thing I joked about was the yard needs to be mowed. To see if she could have like an automatic trimming function to do that for her.
Yeah, I just love the bond her and her dad had at that point in time when she walks out. It's just like looking at it like, hey, it's actually moving, and he's just like, okay, let's begin.
The cool thing that I liked about this is the previous night, Yang heard her father talking with the teachers about the reason why he stayed behind and didn't go after Ruby.
Yeah.
And once she realized that it was because of her, the next day she puts on her arm and she gets her act together. So I'm interested to see how things turn out for the next episode, which we were just talking about.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's gonna get good.
It's gonna get real good real soon. Rate, comment, subscribe.
Have a good day.
Peace.